Got this from our friends over there at Blogging the Boys. They've got this list they put up this time of year when you start to get in the season and stuff like that. You're thinking, hey, who are the players you can count on, the ones you might not, everybody kind of has a different opinion. So I love the way that we have the ability to rank players. So they ranked the top 10 Cowboys of the roster entering the 2022 season, and my guys did the same. So I'll go through their list real quick for you, and then we'll get to our list. They had Michael Gallup at number 10, Tony Pollard at number 9. They had CeeDee Lamb at number 8. They had Ezekiel Elliott at number 7. They had DeMarcus Lawrence at number 6. Tyron Smith at number 5. Trayvon Diggs at number 4. They had Micah Parsons 3. They had Dak Prescott 2. And then they had Zach Martin at number 1 was their list. Okay, so we all took a crack at it, and I asked my guys. So I will go through my list first, and then we'll get to the guys' list as well, and we'll kind of talk about it and see if we're maybe who had the best list of the crew here. At number 10, I had Dalton Schultz. At number 9, I had Michael Gallup. At number 8, I had DeMarcus Lawrence. Number 7 was Tyron Smith. Number 6 was CeeDee Lamb. 5 was Jayron Kearse. 4 was Diggs. 3 was Dak Prescott. 2 was Zach Martin. And 1 was Micah Parsons. That was my top 10 list that we had from Micro.
How do you feel about putting Parsons in the number 1 spot? To me, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point.
I feel like, to me, that was one of, when it got down to 1 or 2, when it got down to Zach Martin and got down to Parsons, I really didn't think about it all that hard. Hey, they're both tremendous players, both all pro type players. I just, a little bit, maybe a younger guy, a little bit more what you had on defense, all the things that he was able to do with the pass rush, the way he played the run, pass defense, all that stuff like that. I mean, Micah Parsons, I think clearly is your best player on this team. I say that in my opinion. I know everybody else is going to have their own opinion. I was curious about what maybe thought about I had Kearse at number 5. I had him over Lamb, Tyron Smith, Lawrence, Gallup, and Schultz.
Okay, here's my thing with Kearse. I mean, nice season, pretty good cover guy, good tackler. Mm-hmm. But he hit free agency, and there wasn't much of a market at all.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys got lucky.
I trust your eye, but I don't know. I think that's a pretty good indication of what the value is.
That's fair. I was surprised with the way the Jayron Kearse offseason sweepstakes went. And I guess it's just because it's a 1 year of real legitimate starter playing time and starter production.
Yeah.
And so everybody was a little bit scared of him. But to me, if you didn't know anything about anybody last year and you just watched the Cowboys, Kearse had to have been a top 5 player on the team.
He was brilliant. I do think there's something to be said about that. 1 year, you do it just for a season. Can you do it again kind of deal?
Sure.
And that's why I know you're going to get to where we had our top 10s, but I don't have any issue with putting Kearse that high. But that would be the only case, just doing it for 1 year. Same thing with Parsons. If you weren't to put him at 1, the only thing would be, just do it for another year, right? I mean, I think we were all feeling fantastic about a Leighton Vander Esch after his rookie year, right?
Right.
Good point.
We didn't feel great about it, after year 2.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to have that issue with Micah Parsons, but we have seen that before.
And I get what you're saying. I do just want to clarify the Parsons year 1 and the Vander Esch year 1, far and away different,
no doubt,
though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt.
Zach had Gallup at 10, Schultz at 9, Tyron Smith at 8, Kearse at 7, Diggs at 6, Lamb at 5, Lawrence at 4, Prescott at 3, Micah Parsons 2, and Zach Martin at 1.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, if you want to choose Martin for longevity, and certainly his best games are, you know, as impactful as Micah Parsons' best games. Yeah, I think you could say that. He's just as good of a player at the top of his game, but, you know, he's getting up there in age, and I think Micah Parsons can totally wreck a game plan. And, you know, Zach Martin's like a nice cog in your offensive line, but even when he was having really good games, it's not like it opened up the run game. It didn't stop or change very many of the team dynamics last year.
Yeah, for me, you know, Zach Martin's just, you know, the offensive line's never a position where you're going to be, oh my gosh, that's sexy. But you've got to have him. Zach Martin's probably, he's still underappreciated for what he brings to the table. I get it. He's older. The injuries are starting to maybe add up. But when he's right, he's still maybe the best offensive lineman in football. And until proven
he's in
otherwise,
that conversation, yeah.
Right. Until proven otherwise, I think he's the best player on the team. After this year, I think it's very easy to put Micah ahead of him. Micah's right there. I'm not going to fight you for it, but I'm an offensive line guy. And I don't have a doubt, really, that Micah's going to do this in year 2. I just want to see it before I'm going to put him at number 1, but I've got him right there at number 2. It's not like I'm knocking on Micah. And a lot of people are going to rip on Tank.
Yeah.
If you don't sit there and study and watch the All-22, you know, you can go ahead and complain and whine about DeMarcus Lawrence and the sack numbers. What DeMarcus Lawrence does is an all-around defensive end, and the motor and the hustle and the things that he provides for this football team, he's no question a top 5 player on this team, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Eric's got number 10. He's got Gallup, 9 Schultz, CeeDee Lamb 8. Tony Pollard makes an appearance here at number 7. Kearse at 6, Lawrence at 5, Diggs at 4, Prescott at 3, Zach Martin at 2, and Parsons at 1. Talk about your Tony Pollard one.
Okay, so Tony Pollard, to me, I mean, I don't know how he would be out of the top 10 for anybody. I think it's very obvious he is one of the best players on your football team. Your offense completely changes, and I think the defense, everybody's perked up when Tony Pollard's on the field because you're not worried about a 4-yard carry. Oh, Zeke's on the field. There's really nothing that scares you about Zeke with the ball in his hands at this point if you're a defensive coordinator. Tony Pollard is the biggest home run threat on the entire team. Regardless of offensive position, of any of your skill weapons, Tony Pollard is the guy that you feel like, oh no, he could take a 10-yard play and make it a 70-yard play. And he's done it consistently enough for me now to say no-brainer, top 10.
I thought it was an astute observation. As Chiafalo did his list before mine, I was about to forget about Pollard, but he mentioned it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I know who I'm taking out.
When I went through my list and stuff like that, when you started mentioning it, and every point you just made is absolutely correct. That's the one, if I had to go back and do a mulligan, I would have found a spot for him. I mean, somewhere between him and Schultz or somebody like that, even though Schultz has been super productive. I mean, you can maybe say it for Gallup, for what's going on with Gallup right now, you know, with his the injury situation as well. All right, here's the General's list. He went Kearse 10, Pollard at 9, Gallup at 8, Tyron Smith at 7, Diggs at 6, Lawrence at 5, CeeDee Lamb was 4. I think that's the highest anybody's had Lamb.
Yeah.
Prescott 3, Zach Martin 2, Micah Parsons 1.
Yeah, our top 3 was quite similar across the board. I think the biggest difference on my list is leaving Schultz out.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's got the stats, but I don't see the football player.
Honestly, if I could do it over again, I'd probably have Tyron Smith at 10 instead of having Schultz right there. That would probably be my mulligan.
But if you're going to miss half the games, I have no problem with you leaving a guy off the top 10 list.
The problem is, and I thought about not having Tyron in, but when he's healthy and playing,
it's hard to justify that, right? But you can and be okay with. I mean, not okay with it, but you're like, hey, if you leave him off, you leave him off. Yeah, I mean, you could argue leaving him off.
Availability. And that's another thing with Dalton Schultz is why I put him in my top 10, and I didn't have Tony Pollard in there, is one, usage. Right, you know what you're getting out of Dalton Schultz. It's not necessarily fair on Tony Pollard because I don't think it's his fault. It's more so the offensive coordinator in the organization. I don't even know if it's Kellen Moore. I don't know where it's coming from. None of us can really pinpoint it. Why Tony Pollard doesn't get more run in the offense. Especially, I just don't understand when you knew that Ezekiel Elliott was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Why you didn't say, we're not playing Zeke. He needs to sit. He needs to recover. We've got a guy that we can go ahead and give the ball to in Tony Pollard and let him carry the rock.
I think we were all very consistent about Dak Prescott there, right? Everybody had him really in the third hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he was never going to, was he ever a consideration for anybody in the top two?
Not for me. No, I think it's very clear that Micah Parsons is better at his job than Dak is at his, and same with Zach Martin.
I thought about doing the thing where quarterback is the toughest job in all of sport, and he's one of the best 14 in the NFL at it. So I think overall, like his degree of difficulty and what he's asked to do, his skill set as a football player is the best. But what Chiafalo said ultimately was the difference maker. Hopefully, Dak can perform so well compared to other quarterbacks that he's in the number one spot for us.
Yeah,
next
I think
offseason.
it's really interesting that we, like I said, I have no arguments about Parsons or then with Martin at all. I think everybody kind of agreed on those two. It just depending on which one you are. And if somebody said Martin over Parsons, I'd understand that. Parsons over Martin, I get it too. So thank you guys for going through your list. Appreciate that.